What's up, everybody? I'm back and I got a special guest with me. I got Gerardo. So today we're gonna do something a little bit fancy. We're gonna do a burst fade. So all it is just a half moon fade all around with the Mohawk. Now he usually likes the long hair. We're gonna trim some off the top and let's get to it. So what we're gonna start our first guideline, and it's the balding guideline. So all we're gonna do is around the ear and just go all in a circle. Everyone has a preference on how high and wide they should go. Me personally, with his head shape, if we go too wide and too round, we won't have enough room to blend. So always look at the client's hair and see what's gonna work best with his head shape and his hair texture. There's a lot of barbers that like to go with super small guidelines to keep that bulk. But my client right here, he has thick dark hair, so we do not need to do small guidelines. His hair is so dark that it would still look bulky and still look dark. So it's a half moon, and all we're gonna do is just get our balders and bald these out. And right now I'm using my Frank the Barber trimmers with the chrome Chameleon FX blade. So you're gonna set your first guideline, and this will be half the way. Don't forget to tuck his ear, you don't wanna cut him. So now that I got the bald guideline, the trimmer guideline, now I'm gonna have the gamma clipper guideline, which is open. And we're gonna follow that same guideline with the corners. There's no rush, take your time. As you can see, I'm only using the corner to round out. So all we're doing next is just closing the lever till we get this line out. And remember, when you make your guideline, it has to be all even. You don't want to have one side thicker than the other because the fade's gonna look a lot different than it needs to be. For a lot of beginning barbers, clippers with notches will help you out. Just so you know how you can go step to step. Once you get a little bit more advanced, you can go with the ones without the notches.
Can you show me what the notches are?
Most people go open, closed, open, medium, closed. I like to go in between just so you can get more precise. So I already went with this, the second to last lever. Now I'm gonna go to the middle lever and keep flicking out that line. There's no rush. A lot of barbers think people are looking or people are getting anxious. When you're at the barbershop, no one cares how long you take. Barbers aren't looking at you. Just take your time, focus on yourself and on the client. So now that we got that first guideline out, the second guideline out, now we're gonna go with the one closed to set our next guideline. And we're gonna follow the same pattern, using the corners of your clippers. It's gonna go out And keep fading out. Take your time, there's no rush.
This tattoo.
Thank you. Remember, your client, his head moves, so you can move it around to get better angles and lighting. I see a lot of clients or barbers going like this. You don't have to do that. Line out, you're gonna use the half guard or the 1/16, whatever you like to use, and it's gonna be open to start off with.
You can show them too.
Oh, okay. So 9 times out of 10, I like to start on the corners and meet in the middle. That's just my preference. Some people like it different. Whatever you like, go for it. And all we're doing is just softening up the line. You can hear the haircut every time. So sometimes when you can't get that half guard or 1/16 line out, like I still see a blemish right here, just take the guard off or the next guard down. So if it's the half, the next guard is no guard. So all I'm gonna do is just, I like to do the details while I'm cutting. Some people leave them until the last minute. Me personally, I don't like that. People say it takes a little longer, but I like how these come out better instead of me forgetting and then right when the client leaves, I see it when they walk out in the sun, and the sun doesn't lie. Perfect. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go with our next step, which is the 1.5 close. The 1.5 close is just the same as the 1 open, just a little bit bigger. So what we're gonna do is close the guard and set another guideline. Some people like to just jump off and go from 1 to 2 and blend it down. Me personally, I like going step by step so I don't get lost in what I'm doing. The same thing, just using the corners. To use the whole thing, it's gonna turn out boxy and it's gonna look like an L instead of rounded. We don't want that. As you can see, it's lighting everything up. Me personally, the 1.5 and 1 guard are my favorite guards. I feel like it makes a huge difference. So now to get that 1.5 closed, we're gonna use the 1 open until it's all the way closed. Now because I keep going further out and out, it's gonna blend into the beard, as you can see. So all I have to do is just lightly tap the areas. Remember guys, don't rake out. A lot of barbers like to go like this. It has a groove for a reason. Scoop out every time and just soften up that line. You can hear it crunching, that means it's cutting hair. Little by little, I'll start closing it to get that blend. Now, if the 1 is already fully closed and that line doesn't get out, what do? You get the 1/16, open it up, and lightly tap at it. You don't want to go too high and set a new guideline. So now it's fully closed, you see? All the way closed, and I still have a light line. I'll use a 1/16 to get that out, but right now let's finish off blending the 1.5. Always bend the ear, gives you more surface for the clipper. And you can hear it cutting perfectly. That means we're doing a good job. I get the 1/16, open it all the way, and just lightly tap at it. Sometimes it won't fully erase, so you just close it 9 times out of 10. This is the last lever and it'll go away. So I'm right. So just because the one all the way open or kind of closed took this line out, it doesn't mean it's gonna take this line out. So you wanna go back to the open because you might set a new guideline. So you wanna be as careful as possible. Some people have lumps or dents in their hair or it goes in, so you can't always do the same technique all around the same head. Through the 1.5 closed and we got the 1 open all the way to the 1/16 open and got all this, the blurry out, we're gonna use the 2. And we do the same thing, just repeat, keep repeating. So to get this 2 guard line out or layer is what we're gonna use is the 1.5 that we have and open it and start blending down. If you do your steps and don't skip anything, the haircut will come out nice. I know there's barbers that fade up and fade down, skip guards. That's not what I do, that's not what I like. If it works for you, go for it. If it doesn't, try this out, see, tell me what you think. Leave a comment down below. See, I can't see, so I tilt his head back so I can see all the blemishes. And I can see it's still dark. You guys might think that it's fully blurry. I don't like it. It's fully closed. So what I'm gonna do is get the 1, open it back up, and just lightly tap away. This is where your scooping and flicking comes in. So the last guard I'm going to use, this right here, I already cut the bulk off and it was a 4 all the way around. I have a 3, and because his hair is so thick and dark, with the 3, the transition won't be as bad, so I don't have to really blur it out. So what we're gonna do is set our next guideline and our last guideline. All I'm doing is just scooping out. So with the 3, I set the last guideline. All I'm gonna do is just 2 open and all the way till it's closed. Close it a little bit and just keep going around. I'm not using the whole clipper, just using the corner. And you can hear the hair cutting still. So I still see some blemish here, a little bit here. So what I'm gonna do is after the 2, get the 1.5 all the way open. And I'm just softening up the dark spots. Not everywhere is gonna be dark. So remember to move your client's head to see anything else. So this is my favorite part, it's using the liners. All we're gonna do is, back then we would round it out or give it a little arch. This time what I did is we V'd it out. So brush the hair All you're gonna do is just V it out. To get a more cleaner, crisper finish. Now I like doing this after I finish the fade, so you can see if there's any blemishes right here. Me personally, I can already tell I need the 1/16 guard to get that line out. 1/16 guard or the half guard. Once you've been cutting for a while, you know what area needs what guard. Back then, I didn't. So, Big John, shout out to Big John, he told me, if you don't know what guard to get that line out, start higher. So if I used a 2 right here, and I don't know if it's a 1.5 right 2, start 3. It didn't get it out, then go to 2. It didn't get it out, then you start out the 1.5. Me personally, I can already tell what guard needs to get what out, and that all comes with practice. So all we're gonna do is just take this layer out, and this is a beginning easy thing. So what I usually do is clipper over comb, but because this is a beginner's, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use clipper over comb. If you don't know how to do this, you can put on a 1 guard, so it's safer and it gives you more of a border. But all you have to do is, ever see the excess hair? Don't just go up. Go in and then flare it out so you can get all that excess hair out. There's no rush. There's no reason why you should be rushing any of this. Right here, there's more of bulk. And each time you just go higher and higher. So all we have to do now, he wants the fullness of his beard. We're gonna just blend this corner down, line it up, and we already did one side. I know this is the bald line. I know this is the half guard. I know this is the 1, this is the 2. So this right here, I know should be a 1.5 closed. So what I'm gonna do is get the 1.5. Always brush the hair. Is I'm gonna lightly hit the corner. We're going in a circle. This is an oval right here. You don't want to go straight because then it's gonna look like a whole nother fade, and we don't want that. Lightly tap it and get this line. We're just getting that out. So now that we did that, we're gonna get the 2 guard. Same thing. Get that out. Soften it out. And 9 times out of 10, when it comes to beards, you don't have to use a 4, you don't have to use a 3. If you flick out correctly, a 2 or a 3 maybe can get everything blurred out and faded in. All we're doing is a 1.5 open, just chipping at it away. So now, all we have to do is just line up the beard. As you can see, his hair grows this way. So what we want to do is go straight down here. And all my clippers are 0 gap. If you don't know what 0 gap is, go back to one of my videos where I'm adjusting my clippers and you can see what 0 gapping is. So with my client, we go as full as possible so he can actually see that he has facial hair. your hand is, it has a pivot, it's a wrist. I don't know why people don't understand that, but you start off with the corner and lightly, because my clippers are 0 gap, I'm gonna go around. So I start off at this corner, and then I start at this corner so they can connect. You don't want to go all the way around because you might get one side uneven, and you don't want that. You want to have your client look symmetrical. Now my client, he doesn't like a whole lineup, so all we do is just hit the corners. What I like to do is I'll press it in, set my first guideline, and then I go forward to get all that hair out. Next is the mustache. Don't forget to get the upper part of the lip. I see a lot of barbers that would just line the top off and not remember to get the bottom. Use your corners. Don't be shy. And once I'm done with the other side, we'll straight razor everything off so you can see the difference. So there's one side, and then here's this side. So we finished both sides, lined them up. All we're gonna do is take a trim off the top of his hair. Remember to saturate the hair. Because we did cut some off the sides, there's gonna be excess hair going over everything. What I need you guys to understand that this is a Mohawk type haircut, so we want everything to be mostly symmetrical. We don't want to have this too short and this too long, or this too short and this too long. You want to have everything almost even. And thank you to Gilbert, shout out to you, bro, for helping me understand how with Mohawks everything goes straight up. You don't want to have it at an angle. You want to have everything straight up, all the way up, so it can give it that more full look. Now, it's easier if you have the hair super wet, so you can section stuff off. Then it'd be damp. So what we can do first is start off in the back. What I like to do is section it off. And start off in the middle. And we're going out. All we're doing is just going out with the cut. These are Hanzo's 6-inch, I believe. The bevels, I gave Jason, our representative, mine so he can sharpen. So he gave me some loaners that I can use. I do recommend getting these. They are pricey, really, really pricey. So I do recommend, if you don't need them right now, don't get them. All we're gonna do is just follow the same guideline, so you can see right there. And you just cut this part off. Go on this side, do the same thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on the top part. This is a little too thick. We're gonna take some off. There's no rush, take your time. Little by little. Never past the second knuckle. You will cut yourself, trust me. I've done it multiple times to where I have to use my daughter's Band-Aids. So we're not gonna touch anything off the bangs. We're gonna keep that as long as possible, and we'll do that next. All we're doing is just following the same guidelines. As you can see, it's right there. The more wet the hair is or damp, the better you'll be able to grab the hair. I cut off most of the hair all even. Most barbers, they don't like to do it because they're either in a rush or they don't have time, but what we want to do is cross check. So I did lines all going this way. Now I'm gonna go this way to see if it's all even. That's what cross checking is called. So as you can see, if I go up, there's still some hairs that are longer than the other, and that's all right. That's why you cross check. See? So we're gonna do it to the top or the bangs. He likes it fairly long. First, we're gonna do a blunt cut, which means just going straight across. Pull it at an angle. Now, some people have different methods. Some people do it a different way. That's totally fine as long as you get to where you need to go, and that's the finish line. Once I do that, I'll go up. And just point cut. You can go deeper in and make more of a dramatic blunt cut or a point cut, sorry. It all depends on the client's personal style. Thank you again to Gilbert too for lacing me up, teaching me how to do this. Now I see there's still some excess hair right here. What I can do, clip over comb. Pick off all the excess hair. Once you're done with your finished product, all you have to do is just straight razor them. So remember to pull the skin up and go down. Now I've been doing this for a while, so I know how to dry shave. I don't need any shaving gel or shaving cream. But if you're still not there yet, it doesn't hurt to get some shaving cream or shaving gel. Remember to pull the skin. It's a lot easier doing it on a person than it is doing it on yourself. And me personally, I like using the balders to get the cheeks. To give it that clean, crisp finish. Now, if you want this haircut too, you can always DM me at Blessedbyabe, or you can call me at 415-717-5477. I am located in Novato. Thank you, Gerardo. I appreciate you. And stay tuned, guys.